Hi, I'm Kelly.
And hi, I'm Geoff.
And this is Blueprints for Belonging, where we're exploring how to build conscious connection in a disconnected world.
Because belonging doesn't happen by accident.
Mm-hmm.
It happens by design. Hey!
Woohoo! We're back.
Yep.
We're going to explore on this episode these invisible patterns that shape our connection, communication, and belonging.
Right. In our last episode, we talked about defensive pre-statements, the phrases that we use to soften or protect ourselves before speaking.
Oh, like what was one of those?
This is going to sound weird, but, or this might come out as criticism, but you know, I was like, what? No, don't do that.
So we're introduced a kind of a deeper way of understanding or exploring these across these episodes, how perfectionism kind of edits our language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The pressure to say things the right way, avoid mistakes, prevent misunderstandings, all things that are so incredibly human.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so today we're kind of continuing that conversation and exploring something that creates a lot of confusion in our relationships. Do you know what that is?
Validation versus agreement?
Yep.
Maybe?
Yep.
Yeah. Many people hesitate to validate others because they fear that validation means endorsement.
Now pause for a second and think about that. What does validation mean?
It just means that you see or hear someone.
Mm-hmm. And how often do you think that is, like, when you notice that that person didn't validate what I just shared? Does that come up often for you? Sometimes?
Not in recent history, because I only surround myself with people who I know.
Okay, come on. I rolled my eyes. Sorry.
Yeah, she did. Well, because I'm still living in pandemic mode, you know, I'm still incredibly poor, so I don't hang out with a whole bunch of people unless they are people that I choose to hang out with.
Right.
So, and I did spend the last 5 years figuring that out.
Well, I kind of see sometimes when when you might share something with somebody and they move on to something else.
Right. Oh, well.
So that's what I'm talking about. You might have shared something, and then, you know, they didn't really acknowledge that you just shared that information.
No. See, I see that as dismissal.
Okay.
That's another way to say it, though, right? Mm-hmm. And so for me,
You get dismissed?
Oh, my God.
Okay.
My mother and my youngest sister
would do that frequently.
Would do that all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. My mother still does it to this day, you know? It's like, okay, when are you going to stop, Irene? Please just stop.
Well, sometimes we think that validation means we agree with them or we disagree with them. That's not exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about validation that is kind of understanding how someone might feel or without agreeing to that opinion or that whatever they're stating. You're just making sure I hear what you're sharing. Right.
It's validating their feelings for what they just expressed.
And sometimes
it's simply that you understand them and they feel understood.
And see, I think we're missing that step a lot in our conversations. And I think that's where we go. We are trying to hurry something. I can't remember who said this. When we try to hurry something, that means we no longer enjoy this process and we're wanting to get on to other things. I can't remember who said it, but I'll think about it in a minute.
Right. Yeah. And how often are we rushing to get
on to other things?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, all the time.
So in some ways, validation means I see how you're feeling. I understand it. And it doesn't mean I think it's right or I'm not trying to fix it, but I hear it and understand it.
Doesn't mean I felt it myself.
Right.
But I understand it. Yeah, well, being understood is so critically important in everybody's life.
But an agreement is a little bit different. A validation is not an agreement.
Well, agreement is just, hey, you're right. Okay, well, I'm glad you agree with me, but that's not what I was after.
But I can say, I understand how you feel, even if I saw it differently. or I see it differently.
Right.
Or I just have another way of seeing it. May I share it with you?
Right.
You're offering.
Yeah, you're asking for permission.
Not that I think my way is the right way.
Right, because that would sound very different. That's I hear what you're saying. You know how I fix that problem? Yep.
Yeah, that's not validation either. So anyway, so in some ways, kind of what prevents us in some of that is to validate is we don't necessarily have that skill set. We miss that skill set a lot.
Right. Well, we never knew we were even missing it.
Right.
Yeah. Unaware that we are even missing it.
So we talked a little bit about what validation is. It's acknowledging somebody's experience, recognizing emotions or perspectives, or communicating that I see you, I understand you, or I understand your experience is existing. So what might be some examples like that?
I'm sorry, of agreement or validation?
A validation.
A validation. Well, I understand that you're frustrated by that. I hear what you're saying about how hard this is. It makes perfect sense to me. I sense your trepidation about this. It's just, and you don't even necessarily have to guess at a feeling to validate it. It's just understanding it. It's just understanding it. That's how they feel, and from their perspective. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. There's no one right feeling or wrong feeling.
Right. Everybody's different. And so...
And because you don't feel it doesn't mean...
And because you've never felt it doesn't necessarily mean... you may not have ever experienced what they are actually experiencing. Being able to see that from another perspective is the golden part. It prevents us from othering people.
What do you mean by othering?
Well...
Because I don't think some people might know what that means.
Right. Well, other people might feel that way, but I don't feel that way. That's one way of doing it. Othering is also based on race or gender or sexual orientation. Us and them is the most extreme version of othering, because the them is always somebody else. And in World War II, everybody got othered except for one type of person.
Who?
White people.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Got it.
Aryan race, basically. Yeah. So it was more than just being white, but that was the Civil War for us. Yeah. It's just a shame that this simple ability to see someone else's experiences as valid,
well, sometimes
even though you may not, you're not sympathizing with them. That's the difference. Sympathizing is, you've been through the exact same thing. You totally get it.
Well, this is where I think this is why we don't do it, because we don't understand what the word valid means.
Right. Well, that we think that validation is approval. It's you're condoning whatever they're saying. And we don't even we're not even suggesting that you use the word validation. It's just how you do it. That's what we're talking about. And it's really very simple. It's just understanding their perspective.
Wow. I use a way to help people understand other people's perspective. And imagine a 6 right here that I see a 6. You see what?
I see a 9.
It's a 6.
No, it's a 9 from here.
No, it's a 6.
Okay, well, you want to argue about it, but I see a 9.
Right. So anyway, so that the validation, kind of in a simple definition, is it's recognizing and acknowledging another person's experience as real and understandable without needing to agree with it or fix them or share that their experience was wrong. It's just to hear what they've shared, and what that does is it validates you as, I hear you, I see you, I recognize your perspective and your feelings.
Right.
And that's a pretty powerful, wonderful gift to give somebody else.
It is. Recognizing, I think that's where a lot of people would have a hiccup in this.
Recognizing?
Well, yeah, I don't recognize that. That's completely foreign to me. It's like, but that doesn't make it any less valid. Mm. So, yeah.
So this is
sadly, it's like a pandemic that we're living in. And people do not give time for that. They do not care. Or
I don't know that they don't know that they care. I think that's where this is my theory, is that it's not that they don't care. They haven't been introduced
to a way
to do it.
Right.
And they haven't experienced it. And when they do, it's like, wow. It's just really...
Right. It's eye-opening.
Right.
So hopefully we can be part of this for somebody.
Right. So I'm going to just give an example. So when somebody says, well, I hurt when you didn't respond to my message. A validation would sound something like, I can understand why that felt upsetting for you. And then you might, if you wanted to, if you knew what was upsetting about it, was that you wanted to know that you mattered.
Right.
An agreement sounds a little bit different. We're going to talk about agreements in just a minute, but an agreement is different. It says, you're right, I was wrong. Notice the difference?
Yeah. One doesn't really mean anything.
The agreement?
The agreement doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's like, okay, you're right.
It's blame shifting, right.
Thank you, I love being right. But if I go to somebody else and say the same thing, I might not get that. So what does it mean? Nothing.
So an agreement says that I'm sharing the same belief or viewpoint that you might have, and I'm kind of endorsing this content or a collusion. Not collusion. Is that the right word? Yes, collusion.
Right.
Coming to a conclusion. That's what I meant.
Oh, coming to a conclusion. Okay,
right.
Not collusion.
Not collusion. Right. Conclusion, right. My words sometimes different, yeah. So anyway, so one way is to validate is I can see why you might have felt that way, and an agreement would be you were absolutely right. Now there's the the possible slippery slope that it might go to is when I just use agreement. I'm not saying to that person, I understand or hear what you're sharing. If I say, you're right. Oh, she thinks I'm right, but what if I'm wrong? You know? So anyway, so those are two different ways of, and they kind of create confusion in the relationship. Am I making sense?
Yeah. I oftentimes it takes me a minute.
I know. I'm just making sure you get it. So.
She can see my face, and I'm just like,
So why do you think people avoid validation? First of all, I don't think they have the skills. So, but if they do have the skills, they have to practice it because that's how you get better at it. But if they don't have the skills, or they might know about it, but they might avoid doing it. Right. Why do you think they might avoid doing it?
Well, they're worried that they might validate something wrong. I guess if they're going to start guessing emotions, then they might guess they might get it wrong. And that would make them feel uncomfortable. I think more often than not, it's probably, well, I don't want to validate that because it's not an experience that I've ever had. And so they're apprehensive to validate somebody. And that's just it. You never actually say that word even.
What about like you don't want to reinforce something incorrect?
Well, that's reinforcing something wrong. So it's if you don't want to reinforce their reaction to something.
And this is where perfectionism kind of jumps in the way here.
Right, because you may not think it's completely right.
Right.
Well, it doesn't mean you can't see them and appreciate what they're going through. And that is the difference.
We talked a little bit about authenticity in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And relating to someone authentically,
right? Well, that varies from person to person.
It varies from person to person. There's not a right way or a wrong way.
Right.
Yet that's kind of how you're holding yourself, is I'm going to be me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to share something that's...
that means something to me.
To me, right.
Right.
So if I respond to that person with an agreement, that's not I don't want to say a bad thing, but it's not. It might be something that you've been taught how to do. Just agree with them, because that kind of keeps the conflict at bay.
Right. Well, I agree with you. What's your problem?
Right. So again, this is not about a right or wrong. It's just about noticing how we've been trained or taught how to connect with each other. There's not a right or wrong, but just be aware of, am I using agreement all the time, or am I avoiding validating?
Right, period. Right.
So perfectionism it kind of creates this pressure to respond correctly. And then we kind of ruminate over it. I didn't do it the right way. I should have done it this way. Or we might have those internal questions of, is this the right thing to say at this time? Or what if I validate wrong? Or
right. What's the perfect response?
Or what if I make it wrong or worse?
Right. What if I put my foot in my mouth and
you have a big foot.
Yeah, I do. It would hurt.
Yeah. So sometimes we have this, in some ways, we kind of freeze. We don't really respond. We might react or not react, but we don't respond. So kind of being aware of these intellectual responses versus the reactions to them. The intellectual response is, I'm noticing that I'm wanting to avoid or not deal with something. I'm curious for me what's going on for me at this moment. So,
yeah, because kindness starts with yourself. Doesn't it?
Where else?
Well, I know. Well, everything does. How to love, how to be kind, how to be patient.
Okay, so do you practice kindness with yourself?
I do a lot more frequently than I used to. I used to be really hard on myself. I was a perfectionist, on the Enneagram scale, so it made sense that I just held myself to a standard that I couldn't even meet.
Share a little bit more about Enneagram.
Well, the Enneagram is a set of 9 numbers around a circle, and everybody falls somewhere on that scale with their personality types. And I can't go into depth about all the other numbers because I only really know mine the best. Once I figured out what it was, well, I took extensive notes actually on 2 through 9, and only then did she discuss number 1. When I went to this seminar, she chose mine to say last, and so I was writing down notes from every single one. I'm like, I'm not feeling it, no. And then she started talking about perfectionists, and I'm like, oh my God, this is me.
So Enneagram is that it's a way of, it's not necessarily a scientific diagnosis or a fixed label for people. It's just a way of understanding what motivates us, our personality styles or models that we might have.
Yeah, and it goes further to say, well, if you're a 1, then you go towards 4 if you're happy and 7 if you're sad, or whatever it is. They're connected to each other. So you do have multiple facets, and you might be closer to a 2
well, I want to explain
closer to
a little
9.
more. So there's 9 different patterns. There are these 9 different patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving. And Enya actually it means 9, I think. So there's 9 personality types. And they each present a different way for people. They're trying to meet their emotional needs and navigate the world through using these, I want to call them strategies. Okay? So you said you're a what?
I'm a number 1, perfectionist.
Number 1, you're the reformer.
Oh, see, and they have different names depending on who wrote the Enneagram diagram you're looking at.
You're focused on being good and correct and responsible.
Yep.
You're motivated by integrity and improvement. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and all that is still very true for me. But I guess the way I learned it was my crutch is anger. It turns into resentment. And boy, howdy did it. And as part of perfectionism, I compare myself to others to validate my own experiences. And I think there was more to it, but those are the things that I really picked up on. It's like, oh my God, yes, this is me. And I only discovered this a few years ago.
What, Enneagram?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. It's a wonderful way of kind of understanding people's behaviors and why they do the things the way they do them. If you can type yourself, that would be
right.
a good way to kind of understand other people.
To help understand yourself.
So what do you think
and
my
others.
type is?
I would say you're probably a 2. But I don't know, because for me, 2 is the helper.
So I'm actually a 1.
Really?
Yeah. But I have a strong 9 and a strong 2.
Right. So I'm strong in 2.
Yeah.
Less in 9, but yeah, wow.
So 9 is the peacemaker, and 2 is the helper.
Right.
So, well, anyway.
Wow. Well, I know a lot of perfectionists, actually. It's so funny. And we're all at different places in our journey.
That's right. Yeah.
It's also fascinating, isn't it?
Well, anyway, so it's a great tool to kind of give you some self-awareness in your own personal growth. Highly recommend it. There's lots of good books, and you can YouTube whatever you want to about the Enneagram. You can even take their little quiz that'll help you kind of get clarity on which type you are, or read them. The other fun thing about it is noticing what you might, for your partner or for a friend, to see what they are, and it kind of helps you be aware of their patterns, and then you can. It's not something that they're doing wrong. It's just the way they are. So you don't necessarily have to put them in a rigid box or anything. But
right. So understanding the Enneagram gives you that gift.
Yes.
It is so much easier to take people in general if you consider it. There's that word again: consider, notice, pause, and. All the words we've been giving you. Well, no, we're not giving you the word but to use.
Not but to use, no. All right, so we've talked a little bit about why people avoid validation. Because they're worried about they're going to say the wrong thing, or they're not going to do it.
They're going to step in it, and it's going to hurt.
Right. So there's this role of perfectionism that kind of gets in the way of everything, and this is why we're bringing it up in these this episode and the past one, and the next one we're going to be talking a little bit about becoming aware of what perfectionism is, and how to see how it kind of shifts your focus from connection to performance. And this is about kind of being authentically you, sharing and showing up. Practicing that. So instead of kind of what happens is instead of trying to look for being present, sometimes we shift it to what's that perfect response I'm supposed to show up with. That's not what we're asking you to do. We're just helping you kind of be aware of.
Presence is where it's at.
Correct. Right. There's not a perfect response. There's just kind of. Being here and understanding what might be showing up, and not and being okay with whatever shows up.
Right. That's the rub.
Right.
Being okay with whatever shows up.
Yeah.
Indeed. It's not easy, folks, but
Right.
it can be rewarding and freeing to get to that point.
So we talked a little bit about invalidating. So, and some of the words that we've used for that one is kind of like, that's not a big deal, or you're overreacting.
Right.
But a validation response would sound like something like, I hear this really matters to you, or I can understand why that felt upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then...
an agreement-only response is just, you're completely right.
Yeah, and some people do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they don't do anything. You're right all the time.
Right.
And I think that's another avoidant mechanism that I don't want to get into some conflict, so I'll just agree with you.
Right. So I won't say anything at all.
No.
And that can be very off-putting.
Mm-hmm.
If you've shared something with somebody and they just stand there, or even worse, walk away, that's incredibly off-putting. Mm-hmm. That's dismissal as far as I'm concerned. And dismissal's the trigger for me. Mm-hmm. So obviously.
Yet again, I want to give them, I don't think they might be doing it intentionally.
Right.
I think that might be unconscious, that they are using that as a way of trying to navigate through relationships, unaware of some skills and tools that they might not have been
that they weren't taught
right.
and that they could use.
Right. So authentic validation kind of sounds like curiosity. Tell me more. I'm sure that this, that this is not the first time this might have happened for you. I'm just curious if this is something that keeps regular occurrence. Right. So, but you don't have to worry about, saying things perfect. It's not going to.
No. But practice makes it easier. Mm-hmm. So practice.
Well, guess what?
It's time for us to say goodbye.
We got to talk about, well, maybe, but our next episode is about agreement that isn't a real agreement.
Oh, right.
So, and those, like for people who say, fine, sure, okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about those in the next episode.
Right. Cool.
Like you were just sharing earlier about,
Performance agreement.
Right. That sometimes silence is another method that we use. So anyway.
Right. Validation isn't about finding the perfect words.
Nope. It's about allowing another person's experience to exist without needing to control or correct it.
That's right. Perfection often tells us there's a right emotional response, which just doesn't make sense to me anymore.
I'm curious.
Well, if it's perfect.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
Because it's perfectionism telling you that. And it's like, no.
So our connection starts to grow when we allow ourselves to be present, even imperfectly. It's not going to be something that we figure out overnight. It's just we're working on it.
Practice makes it easier. Yeah, as you move through the week, notice moments when you hesitate to acknowledge someone because you're unsure how to respond. Yeah, make note of that.
So experiment with allowing validation without needing agreement.
Right. And this week's prompt word is...
allow.
Just allow.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, allow emotion without fixing. I love that.
Allow presence without perfection.
Thanks for listening to
thanks.
Blueprints for Belonging.
We'll be here next week.
Yes, we will. Bye, y'all.